from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster who's so basic. Not only might I take your picture and frame it, but I don't even know if I already used that as a teaser. And on top of that, I don't even know if it'll come before, like if I recorded it before. I said, did I say that to myself in the car? Because I said, wait a second, that's me. Except for the dating part. I don't have any, like I say, I take a picture and I frame it, and it's not a movie star or someone so, oh boy, I'm not even that, here's the thing, I'm not even that basic. I'm so basic, I ain't basic, just like all of us. You could get, it is like one of those scales, I think, a spectrum of basicness. I'm so far basic, I'm not basic anymore. Put that on a pillow, but also put on a pillow, yo, it's time for you to start a podcast. It's time for Sleep With Me. If you're confused, this is a podcast to put you to sleep. What? So stick around and it'll get even more confusing. When your hand hits the fridge tomorrow, here's the ways we're able to be here for you for free twice a week. Hey everybody, it's Scoots. I was just wondering, we're doing a big push for our Patreon right now. We've lost a lot of patrons because there's so much stuff going on. And what's hurdles for regular people is also a hurdle for the podcast. So if you're in a financial position where you could support the podcast you listen to for free, I realize it's a wild idea to pay for a free podcast, but small percentage of people that pay for the free podcast, they keep it free for everybody. So if you can afford to support the show at $5, $10, $20 a month or support it annually, you listen to the show a lot. You say, wait a second, I listen to Sleep With Me more than I listen to my music subscription service, more than I listen to or watch these two streaming services. Please consider pausing one of those memberships and supporting the podcast, because your help, it's huge. It enables me to do what I do night after night after night, put all the work, my heart and my soul into the show. So please consider supporting the show if you can. And if you can't, don't worry. There are people out there, and I don't know the statistics. The last time I looked, it was one patron provides about 1,000 downloads a month for other people. So your support could help 1,000, 2,000 other people fall asleep every single month. So whatever it is, it's a huge help. If you're in a position to do so, maybe think about pausing one of those subscription services you don't use every single month. If you use Sleep With Me every single night, multiple times a week, multiple times a night, please consider supporting the show. It'd be a huge help. There's tons of cool bonus content and stuff like that. We're about to launch our Discord community. So there's tons of other reasons to get into it. But in the end, a lot of people choose to support the show because it's there for them. And it feels good to know you're supporting it for you and a ton of other people. At least that's what I hear from all the other patrons. So please consider it. sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/PATRON. Thanks. All right, everybody. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. And I don't know if you've ever felt burnout. Sometimes when I have a bunch of deadlines coming up and I'm thinking about them a lot, I'm working a lot, and I'm feeling a lot of feelings about my thoughts, the deadlines, the work. And then I have family stuff, and then something unexpected comes up. That's when I start to feel burned out. And it can be really stressful, right? And it can get in the way of my sleep and get in the way of me being present for my daughter. And it can just be really unpleasant and challenging. And normally we associate burnout with work, but that's not the only cause. Any of the roles in our life can lead to feeling burned out. And BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing stress in your life. And that's where therapy comes in for me, because I have a set time every single week where I know I have a safe place to talk it over with someone trusted who's going to be there for me, to listen to me, to help me get to the bottom of it. Therapy is a really important keystone in my life. And if you're feeling burnt out, or you don't want to feel burnt out, or you want tools to deal with being burned out, or someone to talk to about it, that's there to listen and to help you get through it and deal with it and put it in perspective. Just like anyone in my personal life, I'd say, why don't you try BetterHelp? BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try. Sleep With Me listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/sleepwithme. That's BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it is time for the Sleepy Supporter Zone, the one part of the podcast I need you here. It's where I pop my peas, if you please, and thank the listeners who supported the sponsors. That is how we're able to be here for you for free twice a week. So if you support a sponsor, please let them know about it, and then fill out the form at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. Tag them on social media. Give them a call. All our sponsors are direct response, meaning they support the show based on listener response. So please, if you hear about a free trial, you see a product you like, support the sponsor, let them know about it, let me know about it, so we can keep this podcast free for everybody at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. Just fill out that form. Thank you so much. Check out our sponsors over there. That's the first part of the Sleepy Supporter Zone, my call for support. The second part is you getting the support you need. There's links to resources, including international resources, if you're having a tough time right now. It's about being a part of a community and positive change, not just saying Black Lives Matter, not just saying stop AAP I hate, not just saying support Ukraine, but taking action, learning more. There's links to resources where you could do that in our show notes. And one of the communities that I get to be a part of is the podcasting community. And one of my favorite podcasts just launched their second season. It Makes a Sound. It's a musical fiction podcast. It's absolutely amazing. I want you to check it out. It Makes a Sound. You'll be able to listen to new episodes throughout the spring and the summer. It weaves together themes of memory, caregiving, community, and music. And it's a story about transcending solitude and loss with a jolt of whimsy and faith. What could be more up out Sleep With Me listeners' alley? So check it out wherever you consume your podcasts. It Makes a Sound. Mystery Bart, a lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. Make sure to sign up for our newsletter, sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnight mission. Free live shows, free Zoom community events. If you wanted to get deeper into Sleep With Me, connect with Scoots and the listeners of the show, sign up for that newsletter. Be a part of positive change. Sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnight mission. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. It's Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you or sends you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. And I'll do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever is keeping you awake, whether it's thoughts you're thinking about, thoughts on your mind, feelings related to those thoughts about feelings or thoughts about the past, the present, the future, feelings that are just there, changes in your routine or time or temperature. Whatever it is, whatever is keeping you awake, I'd like to take your mind off of that and keep you company so that you could fall asleep. And the way I propose to do it is to send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky dulcet tones, pointless meanders, superfluous tangents, So I'm going to go off topic. I'm going to get mixed up. Then I'm going to go and misspeak. Then I'll go backwards. I'll say, wait a second, what? And I'll say, I couldn't remember. So that's what it means. Is like, I said, what? And then I said, what was I saying? So if you're new, stick around because the things will probably get even more confusing. But I'm right now, I'm going to try to give you all the information if you're new. I already got mixed up. I forgot. So I'm going to send did I say that? I'm going to send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones and pointless meanders. I think I did. I'm sorry. I'll be perfectly honest with you of what just happened, because that's the kind of relationship I'm looking to maintain with those of you that are regular listeners or those of you that that are new. This is how I build trust, is by losing it, or I build the trust so I can lose it. But in this case, I may have lost. Well, I'll maintain our trust, right? So I can't stop listening. So there's a book called Station 11. It got made into a series called Station 11. And a big fan. I haven't finished it when I'm recording this. I still have 2 more episodes left. But episode 7, by the way, if you haven't seen it, I'm rereading the book now at bedtime, but it might not be bedtime material for everybody, but it has, so episode 3 is absolutely, in my opinion, masterpiece. And, I only watched it once, but I feel like it is. And, then there's a lot of other good episodes. And then episode 7, I also was found incredible. And it's kind of like it takes place during the holidays or, Christmas, I think. Not sure about New Year's. But so there's this one character named Frank, and at some point Frank starts dropping rhymes. I mean, he stands up to drop the rhymes. And I find it, sometimes when you're watching stuff that's not a sleep podcast, the joy comes out even in non-joyous situations. The joy can't be contained. And sometimes the joy, like stuff that grows out between the cracks in concrete, I would say. And it was just this poignant, joyous moment or that I related to. And for some reason, in the middle of making a podcast intro, I had shared it. And I said, that is so poignant to me. I got to pin it to my profile. So that's what happened there. And that's the kind of stuff that happens at bedtime. Probably isn't best for bedtime or during a sleep podcast, but it offered me an opportunity to be clear about I don't know. It just got a lot out of that moment. So much so that it distracted me from my job here. But by admitting that, it gives me a chance to do my job, which that is a pointless meander, kind of a superfluous tangent. I wouldn't say totally superfluous because it relates to everything. But I also didn't want to move forward and act like it didn't happen because, we just got 4 or 5 minutes of lulls out of it. Also, I want to encourage, if you get a chance to check it out, you might get something out of it. Or you say, why is Scoots talking about that again? So... Okay, so if you're new, though, I'm so glad you're here. And if you're a regular listener, I'm so glad you're here. But what was my point? Trees and multiforms? I didn't say that at the beginning either. Okay, so my point is, I'm glad you're here because the reason I make the show is to help. The reason I make the show is to help keep you company, take your mind off stuff in the deep, dark night. But if you're new, there's also a lot of confusing stuff, kind of like you've just heard, but even more so. So I want to kind of give you some basics to help you through the show, starting with the fact that for most regular listeners, it takes 2 or 3 tries just to get used to the show because it's so different. So I'm glad you're here. But give it a few tries. That's what hundreds of thousands of people at least have said to me. At first I didn't like it or I didn't understand what was happening. And you were referring to pop culture references that I found, or I wasn't sure what you were referring to. Like, is that a place you gas up your car, Station 11? And I'd say it's a place I gas up my spirit, man, for real. So, okay, so if you're new, let me slow down even more. And so if you're new, first thing to know, I'm glad you're here for the most important reasons are, I know how it feels in the deep, dark night. I know how it feels to toss and turn, to wake up early, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep, thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, other stuff keeping me awake, anticipation, past, whatever the reverse of anticipation is. I don't like all those words. How come anticipation's not, there's no word for the past, memories? I guess, who's saying that? Was that Barbara that sang it about memories? Like the way, I guess that would be the way I'd put it. Anticipation or memories to the way we were. Though my mind never puts it that way. How come my mind never talks to me in the voice of Barbara or anybody like that? I don't know. I know people are saying, Scoot says not who sang that song. And I'd say, okay, well, that's who's singing it in my mind right now, luckily. Nothing in my mind, though, is crystal water of whatever she says, like my memory of the lyrics. So I know how it feels in the deep, dark night. That's one of the reasons I want to help. I know how it really feels right there for me in the center of my chest going down. I know how it feels emotionally. I know how it feels, and a lot of other listeners do. It's lonely. It can be frustrating. It can be something you dread going to bed. So that's one of the reasons I'm here to help. The more important reason is you deserve a good night's sleep. You deserve a place you could rest, to get comfortable, to get ready for bed and drift off. And if I can provide that for you, that's the greatest honor I could ever have. Because one, I know how it feels, but two, if you get the rest you need, your life's going to be more manageable. And that means the world we live in will be a better place to be in, right? So that's why it's so important to me, and that's the most important thing you'll hear on the show. Like, after that, it's not downhill. It's kind of like barely downhill, so we just barely move ahead. So that's the first thing that I want you to know as a new listener. The second thing is this is a podcast you just barely listen to. You just kind of go, uh-huh, okay, yeah, yeah, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, I got you. Like, you just pretend like you're listening to me, or you could listen, or you could turn it down to a mumble. You could just kind of see how it goes. So that's one thing. And then, and then this is a podcast. It doesn't really put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep, to take your mind off of stuff, to make the night less lonely. I'm here to be your boyfriend, your boy-bae, your boy-sib, your boy-cuz, your boy-bestie, your boy-bur, your neighbor, your boyfriend, your friend in the deep, dark night, to keep you company so you can fall asleep. Or if you can't sleep, there's listeners that can't sleep. So even if you can't sleep and you're feeling it, there's other people out there that are listening, and I'm here to the very end for you to keep you company. Whether you're awake or asleep. That's kind of what ends up working about this show, I think. So that's that. Don't listen. You don't need to listen. Doesn't put you to sleep. More good news. The structure's very strange, too. You've already witnessed it. Starts off with a greeting. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And then I try to say something witty, but it ends up being more welcoming and silly. So you say, okay, I feel seen. I kind of get the tone of the podcast. Then there's support for the show, so it can come out twice a week for free, hundreds of episodes in the archives, support for listeners that are having a tough time, and then support for the communities around the show. Then there's the intro, which we're about 10, 12 minutes into. And the intro is an important part of the podcast at first, and for a lot of listeners, but not every listener. So at first, the reason the intro is like 12 to 20 minutes long, it's a show within a show that eases you into bedtime. So it's a transition period. The intro kind of serves for some people as part of their bedtime routine. They're getting ready for a bed routine. And I've been paying really close attention to this recently. And I need really 1 hour. Like within, that's how, I guess, we're getting carried away in my all or nothing thinking. But I need something around an hour but pretty close to an hour to stop doing what I'm doing after I brush my teeth until I want to close my eyes and fall asleep. But I make that period. That period's really important to me when I'm practicing it because I get to read some Station 11 or some other fiction, really uplifting stuff. I read Never Let Me Go and then Station 11. But that's the kind of stuff I like to read at bedtime. It doesn't bother me. It helps me fall asleep, connecting with those characters, going on a journey. And I do some other work, I do some like other reading, journaling, meditation, stretching, whatever. That's what works for me. It might be something different for you. But having that period, that twilight period, I kind of wanted to make the intro, and it's just based on 1,000 episodes of listener feedback. Say, okay, this can kind of be a part of that for people. Or if you just want to get in bed and lie there and kind of listen as you get eased into sleep, that's great too. And there are listeners that are so lovely, our sleeping listeners, along with those sleeping partners some of you have that fall asleep as soon as their head hits the pillow, even when you still had something left to discuss and they fell asleep. That's okay. That's why I'm here. I'm here to be here in lieu of that. And there's listeners 2 to 3% that skip the intro, start the show at 20 minutes or 25 minutes. There's actually also about 5% of people that stop that set a sleep timer for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes. And then there's people that listen on Patreon to story-only episodes. But the majority of listeners, the intro it's something familiar, but it's different every time. And I know it's the same thing for me. If I'm reading a book that I enjoy, and I don't necessarily enjoy some of the other parts of my bedtime routine, they're more structured activities that I know are good for me. But at least I know at the end I have that to look forward to, right? So that's the same thing with Sleep With Me in the intro. So the intro goes on and on and on to ease you into bedtime, a landing strip, for example. So that's the intro. Then there's support or sponsors between the intro and the show. That's, again, just how we're here for free twice a week. And then there'll be our story. Tonight will be a recap of a Doctor Who episode. Now, if you've never seen Doctor Who, don't worry. I'll give you all the details. This is a period piece, so it'll be good. And if you're a fan of Doctor Who, it probably won't. You see was that a Doctor Who episode? Doesn't sound like it. So don't worry. I'm going to take your mind off stuff and describe things in a way to carry you off into bedtime. And then there's thank yous at the end. So it's a structured show. That's why I make the show. And I think that's it. I'm really glad you're here. I really hope it can help, because if you've come here with skepticism or doubt, or someone told you about the show or you heard about it, of course you're going to be skeptical or doubtful. Why wouldn't you be, right? You've tried a lot of stuff to fall asleep, to help keep you company. And that's where this show comes in, is to keep you company and take your mind off stuff, right? And that's what I'm here for, like literally. And if it doesn't work for you, you gave it a few tries, or you decided already, you know what, you're not for me. I'm just listening to this point. Just sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. Has a bunch of other stuff you could check out there. So check it out. I'm really glad you're here. I really appreciate your time, and I really hope I can help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple ways I'm able to be here for you free twice a week. Sleep With Me is brought to you by Progressive. Have you tried the Name Your Price tool yet? It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. It's easy to start a quote, and you'll be able to find a rate that works for you. It's just one of the many ways you could save with Progressive. Get your quote today at Progressive.com and see why 4 out of 5 new auto customers recommend Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. All right, everybody, it is Scoots here, and I'm here to talk about Athletic Greens AG1, which is now fully integrated in my morning routine because I love starting my day with AG1. Like I said, it tastes good, and it just helps me feel like I'm starting my day out right, getting my nutrition set up for the rest of the day, the rest of the week. So what is AG1? With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, your focus, and aging, all the things. And I love taking it in the morning. I take it on an empty stomach. I feel like it gives me energy right away. It tastes delicious. Like AG1 is a small micro habit with big benefits. It's a one thing you can do every single day to take great care of yourself. Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science with constant product iterations and third-party testing. And you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of supplements or figure anything out. It costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health. That's cheaper than going out and getting a cold brew or some kind of fancy latte. So right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the cold and flu season. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/sleep. That's so easy. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/sleep to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily insurance. athleticgreens.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, Scoots here, and we're talking about, let me see my notes here, because I don't, Season 3, Episode 8, Human Nature. And let's see, this one, we'll see how we're going to do it, because I got a lot of D with a circle in my notes, means check the dialogue. So we'll watch this kind of together at the same time. Action. Did they see you? Doctor stressed. Did they see your face following us? Dialogue check. Never going to stop. Unicy, trust me. All depends on you. Take this watch. This work. POV. What this Unicy is. It looks like UN. There's a dot. Then it says ESI. Uneasy? I don't know. Let's find out here. Okay, BBC. Laser comes in. Martha dives. Doctor dives. The CEO's too busy running. Did they see her face? No, they couldn't have. Off we go. Doctor pulls the lever, looks up at the TARDIS. Heart of the TARDIS are following us. Time. You got a time machine. Vortex manipulator. They can follow us wherever we go. Right across the universe. They're never going to stop. He gets an idea. Looks up. Unless I'll have to do it. You trust me, don't you? Of course I do. All depends on you. What am I supposed to do? Take this watch. Martha. Then we get the POV. Martha, take this watch. Doctor wakes up in pajamas. Also striped. Just like his pinstripe suit. They're not pinstripe pajamas, but that's actually nice. Pinstripe pajamas could be a song in a musical somewhere. I don't know. I guess it would be the Sleep With Me musical. Pinstripe pajamas. There is one pinstripe on his pajama, but it's, but he has wider stripes, so I don't think it's pinstripe. The doctor's waking up in what seems to be, now again, I'm not English, so I'll need some instructions or some feedback, or I'm not a historian or a history buff or a person that retains very much history. But the doctor's getting up in a bed in seemingly what's his office. So it's like his office in his bedroom. A lot to look at. Couple butterflies, a mirror, paintings. Could spend a lot of time in this office if we wanted to. I don't know. I guess that was the end of the. Oh yeah, that's a doctor. Doctor in something office. A bedroom? Double question mark. Martha and Mr. Smith talking dreams. Compromise. The watch catches her attention. Her calm free. 11/10/1913. Completing him. And then it goes to the open. So let's see. Doctor's getting out of bed. rubbing his face, and knock on the door. Martha comes in with tea. Pardon me, Mr. Smith, you're not dressed. He's putting on his robe. And it looks like she has tea and toast, maybe. Yeah. And sorry, doctor's a little distracted. Martha makes a face. She opens the blinds. Obelisk, I see. I have these dreams that I'm an adventurer, a daredevil. The doctor I'm called, and you were there, Martha. Believe it or not. I believe it. You know, maybe I'd say, Martha, you can appear in my dreams anytime you want as my companion. She goes, a teacher, me and you, and I'm a man from another world. Well, they can't be thing. And he goes, this watch played a part in it, too. Martha looks at the watch. Doctor puts it back down. She's thoughtful. Then she smiles. I do remember one thing. All took place in the future. 2007, the year of our Lord. Well, I can prove you wrong. It's 1913, November 10th. You're completely human, sir. That actually is a little foreshadowing. As human as they come. That's me. Completely human. Zoom. Oh, so that's what I couldn't read. It looks like calm force. Oh, no, completely calm. I put open. Flag goes up at a school. Boar's choir sings. Midday military walking. Sin. Bell rings. Smith teaching class. Cleaning floor. Dreamy eyes. Punk students that one day will run the country. 1913, they might not. Paul Cornell, this episode's by Mr. Smith, pile of books, nurse, double question mark, division of labor, book, any directors, Mallory, awkwardly dance, no one asked me, hint. Okay, so we're running at it's raining, kids are walking in the rain, military march, doctor's dressed as professor. Talk about cosplay, you know what I'm saying? And he's very, sees the headmaster, some other teacher. A lot of layers. That would be too hot. I couldn't teach at this school unless it was freezing. They're talking about Waterloo. So maybe he's a history teacher, Napoleon. He is on so many layers. It better be cold in that school. Or I'd say, I can't work here. It's too many layers. So what do you have on your ride or whatever that I don't have to wear so many layers? Walks by Martha, who's washing the floor with someone else. Morning. She says, always his head's in the clouds. Why are you sweet on him? Well, he's nice to me. And I'd say, yeah, Martha, why are you sweet on him? My head's in the clouds. She said, this is from a fictional TV show and I said, oh, okay. I got to look up who was in this episode. I don't know if I think one or two of the guest performers was famous or would become famous. But these kids, these high schoolers, oh boy, they need to learn some manners, I guess, would be the nicest way to put it. Martha says I like to dump my bucket on their heads. But yeah, one day they're going to be the ones in charge. So Martha says, oh boy, it's 1913. Maybe not. Then we go upstairs. We see Mr. Smith. He drops a book. Nurse tries to, or he steps on it. Maybe he doesn't want her to see it, or she wants to help. He says, well, you hold my books, I'll pick up the book, which is a strange move. And then she has her books. She's definitely a big smiling. How's Jake and Jenkins? Got a cold. No, missing his mother mostly. But he's got a letter. Now I'm holding your books. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Let me take them. Why don't I take half? Let's split it up. Division of labor. They're both very smiling. And she goes, where are these books going? He goes, oh, this way. And so they go along, and they're talking about school, you know, blah, blah, blah. Truth be told, she goes, you can call me Nurse Redfern, because he was calling her matron. She goes, matron sounds matronly. She goes, you could even call me Joan if you want. Joan Redfern, I like that. He goes, obviously. And she goes, you're John, right? John Smith. She goes, check this out. There's a poster for the dance. It's not formal. Sounds fun, huh? You going? Got a date? And he starts doing a scoots. He goes, blah, 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 blah. She goes, I haven't been to a dance in a while, just because nobody asked me. And he goes, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, I never thought you'd be one for dancing. Have you seen the doctor dances? Because I know the doctor can dance. And then he goes and takes a little tumble too, drops his books, drops some papers everywhere. And then she gives him a little, she helps he bumps his head. Martha comes running in. Did he fall? You're supposed to knock, Martha, before you come in. Oh, right. Okay. Everything okay with him? I heard you took a folly poo. Just a tumble, that's all. And she goes, we forget Martha's a doctor. So she says, there's a concussion, and the nurse Redfern, Joan, says, don't worry about it. And then the doctor's like, I've been telling her about the dreams I've been having. No, someone else. I'm in hiding. Hiding? How are you hiding? Well, I don't know. Every night I have these dreams. It's going to sound silly. I dream, a lot of times that 2 hearts. And she goes, well, I'm a nurse. I could check that. 2 hearts. Nope. Only 1 heart. But you could have 2 hearts beating as one at tonight's dance. Especially if, I don't know if at this time in England we could dance heart to hearts. But if we did, then you wouldn't still have 2 hearts. But, and I don't know if they would actually beat as one. If that's just a phrase. He has a record of a controller or whatever that thing's called. Says these dreams are like fiction. Been writing it down. Don't know if you want to check it out. Like peer into my heart, eh? She goes, oh boy, would I. Martha's watching all this and never shown it to anybody, not even Martha. And so there's a journal of impossible things. There's a lot of cool drawings and writing. Doctor's handwriting is about on pace with mine, maybe a little bit better. His drawing is excellent. I think we even see like different versions of the doctor, the watch, Rose, quite an eye for pretty girls. Oh, she's just a character called Rose. Martha, we get a look from Martha there. She disappears later on. Cat nurses, the TARDIS, the blue box, he calls it, always there, like a magic carpet. Fun little box transports me to faraway places, like a doorway. Yeah, I guess so. I think he even has a thing of all the older doctors. I don't know, previous doctors. Joan says, if only about something. Just a dream. And we see the watch again. Then she takes a journal. Martha runs after him, says, don't worry about that journal, man. Well, he said I could read it. And she goes, it's silly. Just stories, right? And then Nurse Redfern says, who is he, Martha? It's like he's left the kettle on. He knows he has something to get back to, but he can't remember. And she goes, you two came together, right? And she goes, yeah. And then the nurse says, you're a little familiar, I'm like, and I say, wait a second. Martha makes a great face. What time is that? At about 10:21 on HBO. She says, oh, yeah. Matronly. What else we got here? Smith speechless downstairs. Martha rushes in. Not good form. Is he all right to know more than you? Nurse, matron, my remarkable tales. 2 hearts hiding. Goes the journal. Gives the journal drawings. Rose invention, cat nurse, blue box, magic carpet like a doorway, old doctors, question mark. If only, the watch. Martha runs after nurse, they talk, which we covered. More punk kids, do my homework, more money, better school. One of the kids can kind of read minds, so he gets in trouble. He even tries to say, I can't help it. It's just like some sort of luck. They call him Little Toad. Then another kid says, there's beer in the woods. He says, go get the beer. And actually, let's look it up right now. Okay. Just see who the guests are. Doctor Who, Human Nature. And let's see, because I think one of these kids is like, was in, I know I've seen him in movies before. Okay, let's see what Wikipedia has. Okay, Jessica Hines, Harry Lloyd, Thomas Sangster, Pip Torrance, Rebecca Station, and Gerard Horan. I was going to say Goran Horan. That doesn't help me. So let's try IMDb. Okay, it does bring up the episode. That's good. Okay, who do we got? Oh, this is the kid, Thomas Brody. How come he didn't even get a... Let's see. This kid, Thomas Brody's definitely been in some things I've seen. Oh, holy moly. Oh, my goodness. How time connects back to one another. I knew I recognized this kid from somewhere that I liked. I recognized him in something else when he was in, he's played a really good character in The Queen's Gambit. But I recognized him, I don't know, was it from Star Wars The First Order? Is it a video game? But he's definitely in something, oh, that's it, GOT. There we go. Okay, so now it's all coming together. So he was in GOT, then he was in The Queen's Gambit, but he was in this first, I think, probably. What year did this come out? So, yeah, it's cool. I don't know. I don't have it, all the info. Knew I recognized him more than once, and I knew I recognized him from The Queen's Gambit. And when I looked it up at the time, I must not have looked it deep enough because I didn't know he was, I said, oh, from Game of Thrones, Jojen or whatever, Jojen. So my apologies, but really, I thought a quality kind of character acting. I don't know. His character was a somewhat important character in The Queen's Gambit. And I just liked the like kind of flourish he played it with. Okay, back to the episode. Let's do a little bit more notes. One more. Oh, then they're at the pub. Women aren't allowed inside the pub. One more month. Anywhere to the stars. This is Martha saw it all the way out. Then there's a green flash. Only Martha sees it. Then the nurse comes out of the woods. She goes, "Did you see that flash?" Then we see a green spotlight. There's music. She runs. I think that's Martha. Did you see that? Smith. Oh, no. Somebody runs. Did you see that? Smith, the comet, Cinder, Cooper's Field. Martha runs off. Then we see a ship land, and the kid is getting the beer. He sees it. This kid actually does some quality problem solving for a jerk. He realizes that it's invisible. He slowly discovers that it's a force field. At first, it seems like that. It turns green, but it's more of an invisible ship or a ship with an invisibility powder or power or cloak. Impossible. He holds his hands against it so he finds a door, goes inside. I don't know what this says. Brain smart kid. Brain smart could. Mouth and fond, run, nothing told you so. Oh, this must be Martha and the other one. No falling star, in green room, oh no. Let's see what we got. Martha walks off. Okay, this is when they're telling Latimer to do the homework, Latin, get it done, no mistakes. That's one of the rich kids, my best handwriting. Fathers, there's also this whole colonist thing. It's like, and like, oh, maybe being a colonist isn't such a great idea. It's beautiful places. Why do we got to mess with it? And So they go back and forth. He also reveals, that not only does he care, he can read, he can also read minds to somewhat, some degree. So I guess in some sense he's like Bran. This kid was the sister. I think this kid was one of the people that helped. I can't remember, but I think, isn't he one of the ones that helped them go to meet the one-eyed raven, which I used to sing, one-eyed raven, oh so raven. Like, into the lyrics of Three-Eyed Lady or whatever, Green-Eyed Lady, right? So then the kid, now they're going, hey, you want some beer? Baxter hid it in the woods. Well, get going, man. And hurry up, but none for the little kid. And I said, well, yeah, because he's a little kid. And he says, hurry along, buying some parched. Okay, then outside the pub, Martha and her friend are having some pints or half pints. And she says, you might be able to drink in a pub in London, but not out here. But Martha's like, what do you mean? It's garbage time. We should be able to do, and then Martha says, 1 month and I'm out of here anyway. She goes, you could come with me, Jenny. Sorry, Jenny. And where are you going to go? Space up there. Already been there, all the way to the stars. She goes, you're wild. That's where I'm going, in the sky, all the way out. Then we see this, the green spark. Did you see that? No. Martha stands. She's looking. Then the nurse comes along. I guess she's just out for an evening stroll. She sees a more powerful green beam in the rain. It's raining. A green spotlight from above. Can't deny that. She's kind of mystified. She turns around, then sees another green spotlight searching, maybe for a landing pad. I don't know. They're looking though. And she walks off, misty breath, rainy. So she does run towards the pub. Matron, what's up? Green lights in the woods is what's up. The doctor comes out, or Professor Smith or whatever. Then there's a comet. The doctor mansplains a comet. I just realized that, or Doc explains it. Just everybody stay calm. Just a meteorite, just rocks falling to the ground many miles away. Didn't come down in the woods like you think it did, but it really did. Nothing but a cinder. Maybe I should escort you. I'll just drop this fax and walk you all back. And they say, no, thanks. Why don't you take your future date with you? Martha's like, I got to do some sleuthing. So Martha heads out in the dark to Cooper's Field. Jenny eventually follows her, as a good friend would. They left full pints behind. Kid pulls out a wood box of beer. That's when the ship lands, even though it's invisible. He's mesmerized, obviously. I mean, who wouldn't be, right? It's a spaceship. So ship goes down. He's looking at it like, whoa, he even gulps. Oh boy, spaceship, eh? And then he heads to it, forgets about the beer. The beer was hidden under a fallen tree, the roots of a fallen tree. He says, hello, is it an airplane? What's going on? That's when he runs into the force field. Face first, I think. You chaps all right? And he does use some deduction. Doesn't work out. In the end, it doesn't work out for him, but he does use deduction. Deductions. What's your function? Then he hits it. He says, this is impossible. He takes another gulp, holds his hands against it, and that's how he figures out where the door is, as we said. I was just really impressed, because I would be like, I would have ran the other way. And if it was the old days, I would have just drank all the beer, too, then gone and drank the 2 pints the nurses left. But this kid's curious. As curious as a cat, unfortunately. Now he goes in blind, it disappears into the ship. Martha and Jenny come, but they're at a distance, so they don't see the ship because it's invisible. Nothing there. Told you so, Jenny says. Cooper's Field, this is it, right? As far as the eye can see, no falling star. Let's go. It's cold out. Nothing to see, just like we got mansplained by Mr. Smith, Professor Smith, and they walk off. Okay. Oh, yeah. Then we go to the kid in there. He's talking to the beings from outer space. We're the family. Who are you, little thing? He's in this green. So I'm Jeremy Baines. Can I leave? He's kind of holding his knees. Sorry, Baines. We're going to work with you. And it's pretty cool looking, like somewhat organic, somewhat technological green. What is that called? Like a spaceship inside of a spaceship. Oh, we can answer your questions. Soon we'll look very familiar. He says, I want to see what you look like. That's when he says, oh, no. Then we go to the kid. He's the psychic kid. He's polishing shoes, probably for one of the jerks. Baines comes back. They say, where's the beer? Where's that kid with the beer? And they open a window. And he climbs in. And Baines is looking a little bit peaked. He's sweaty and wide-eyed. No beer. They call him adult. Where's the blessed beer? No beer. It was gone. And they say, darn, man, where you been? Pretty poor show. And he's sniffing because he's sniffing out something. He goes, but maybe I have a cold. But the psychic kid knows something weird is up. Very cold. And then the main rich kid says, don't spread it, man. Come on, chaps. We'll just go see if we can find some beer somewhere else. So they go off. Baines stares at the kid who's polishing the shoes, who's uncomfortable, and he's just polishing away. Then we see this really beautiful green countryside and like a cottage. Martha on a bike, beautiful hat. She was wearing the hat last night. She goes into this cottage, warm in the inside, and what is in there? She smiles. At first, there's all this romantic music. Oh, yeah, let me read my things. Shining shoes, no show, window knock, sweaty, a word, no beer, poor show, show, Martha on bike, old cottage, she smiles, romance music, that's what I put, TARDIS and key, hello, talking machine. Very rom-com music, flashback, laser, listen, laser, maps, run, trust me, hand, hunters, track me down, something me, but you, gonna make a ship a bug, time Lord become human. Plush looks up at device, mouth, face, stress face. Oh, Martha caring face, then stress face. She ties it up, doctor's initiative, doctor's instructions. She fires it up. She fires up the TARDIS. Watch only if you have to. Doctor, all available, all down to you, your choice. Thank you, Smith. Then kid psychic. Okay, so let's run through this scene here. Martha's going towards the TARDIS. She opens it up with her key, puts it back around her neck, pushes the door. It's in a barn, kind of like a barn, not a cottage, because there's hay. Hello. Talking to a machine. She pulls off her gloves and looks at the TARDIS, not pumping away or anything, but glowing. She's thoughtful, looking around. Then she flashes back, wouldn't get down, lasers are shooting. She moves around the heart of the TARDIS or whatever, that's what I call it. I don't know if that's the right thing, the console. Then flashback to, the beginning, following us wherever we go. Right across the universe and not going to stop. She crosses her arms. Trust me. All depends on you. She's kind of frowning now. Martha, this watch is me. Okay, got you. No, hold on. Completely lost. These creatures that are hunters, they sniff stuff out. Being a Time Lord, they can sniff me out across time and space. What's the good news? Well, they could smell me, but they haven't seen me, and their supplies are running out. So we got to do it before they, because I have to stop being a Time Lord. This happened in Superman, right? I'm going to become human. Didn't work out in Superman, and then, we'll see how it works out with this, because it's a two-parter. Doesn't say a two-parter, but it is. Martha looks up in the present at a machine. Then we go to the flashback. It's kind of like this, what do they call it? Like Magneto used to use something, or no, not Magneto, but Dr. Xavier used to use something like this. But this one rewrites your biology, make you into human. I've set it to human, could do other stuff. Plugs the watch into it. And it can't do the same. You're human. They won't follow you or something. I don't know. What's it going to feel like if it rewrites your cells? He goes, oh, not great. So we see Martha's caring face. Then we see her stress face when the doctor's getting rewritten. And the doctor getting rewritten right into the watch, so I guess. Martha covers her mouth. Doctor lets out a bit of a yawl. Then Martha's got the green lights. She's saying, okay. She goes to the console. She watches this recording of the doctor. Is this thing working? Martha, before I change, I got to record some instructions. That's handy. Okay, don't let me not be nice. Don't worry about the TARDIS. It'll hide. Okay, don't get involved in any big historical events, and don't let me lose you. It's okay. And 5, but then she fast forwards, meteor, shooting star, what am I supposed to do? 23, he's a bit like Scoots. If anything goes wrong, if they find us, Martha, then you know what to do. Open the watch. Everything I am is kept safe in there, but I won't recognize it. It's got some perception filter. So it's just a watch, but don't open it unless you have to, because then they'll be able to find me. Martha nods and frowns. Down to you, Martha. Your choice. Then the doctor's, oh, by the way, thanks. And he gives a smile, which gives some confidence back. And she goes, I wish you'd come back. Then the kid psychic's going to talk to the professor. You want me to collect a book? Yeah, good lad. Come on in. The definitive account of some book. I don't know. I missed it. Where'd I put it? Hey, your marks aren't great. I can tell you're not. You're smarter than that. Timothy's his name. You should be the top of your class, but you're hiding it. And he goes, I think it's because the kids aren't nice. And he goes, no man should hide himself, don't you think? The kid sees the watch. And he picks it up and hears voices in there. Time Lord, a bunch of other stuff, hide. All that kind of things, secret and within. A kid opens it, a bunch of glowing stuff comes out. And then that Baines kid who got, the aliens were working through him, he senses something. Then he gives a book to the kid, everything okay. The kid pockets the watch. Remember, use that brain here. Is power of a Time Lord, it says. He sees that the doctor, or Smith is the doctor. You okay, kid? No. I'll see you later, Professor. He walks off, closes the door. We zoom on his face. He's thinking. We don't know what he's thinking. He runs to his room, looks at the watch when he's alone, and wonders, wonders why, opens it again. Some psychic mist comes out. Keep me hidden. You're not alone. And he sees some other, like a lot of the history of the doctor, even stuff I don't know about. Bane senses something. Bell rings. Kids are getting called to do something. I don't know. Class is ready. Baines is looking. Come along, Jenkins. Baines turns, senses something, but he doesn't know. That's the kid that's part, then he goes into some green light, a trace but scattered. The scent is confused, but we better get ready for action time. Activate the soldiers. Then we see some, like, old dude walking in the countryside. He must own a farm or something. A scarecrow waves at him. And he says, is that a kid pretending to be a scarecrow? No, it turns out it's not. So we quickly realize that there's the aliens now have scarecrows working for them, friendly ones. Of course, they just say, hey, we're just here to scare the crows, not everybody else. So don't worry. We're only, you could just call us straw friends instead of scarecrows. And I said, oh, I wish I thought of that earlier, but we'll move forward with it. Marks aren't good enough for my notes. Kid senses, watch whispers. He opens a watch, takes it. Power of a Time Lord. Power of a Time Lord. Let's see, I lost my spot here. Kid senses, opens a watch, takes the Power of a Time Lord. He opens a watch while alone. Lots of crazy stuff. Kid alien, green. He's on the case. Arm ourselves, activate. Scarecrows go wild. Girl with a red balloon. She joins the Scarecrow crew. Kids pre-war. Better than the best you have to be. And then our kid psychic says, I'm not a colonist. Flash forward. Wow. Kids were, I can't believe the stuff these kids get away with at this school. The nurse, your journal, my husband. Pretty sure that says prime delivery, but I know it doesn't. Doctor and nurse talk war, 1914, shadow across the world. Piano, there's like a cartoon piano moment where the doctor saves like a pram and a piano at the same time. He doesn't save the piano, saves the pram. Still walking, Gallifrey. Words on Scarecrow, works on Scarecrow. Doctor draws her, love in the air. Kiss, Martha kiss, and then a kiss back, and Martha comes awkward and sad. Okay, let's run it here. This is the dude saying, yo, this is a Scarecrow, what up with it? And then he realizes, oh no, it's not, it's a being from outer space. And he said, no, we're straw friends, not scarecrows. We're straw friends of the family, so we're going to have you help us. We consider ourselves the protagonist, not the antagonist. So let's go meet the girl with the red balloon, have her join our team. And she says, oh, okay, I guess I'm joining this team with the straw friends. Then we see the kids practicing and concentrating. You got to be the best of the best. But there's question of conscience. This kid says, I'm not a colonist. I don't want to be colonizing places. And they say, well, that's not your choice. It's not what this school's for. And so they go back and forth. But the kid actually makes a stand with another professor. And the professor says, one day, maybe you'll be able to understand. Also in the foreground is the dude that joined the aliens. He's got a wild look on his face. And, we got a flash forward. We get flashbacks. The kid has a watch in his flash forward to the WW, which he doesn't like. And who would? And they say, yeah, this kid's not helping, man. Proficient to wag my finger at Latimer. And they say, oh, the professor says, okay. He said, you can't wag. What kind of school allows kids to wag? Then Baines senses the doctor, maybe. He's sniffing around, literally, not figuratively. He goes off. Nurse is watching. She's stressed. She doesn't like this whole thing either because she's a nurse, Nurse Redfern, Joan. She goes, I'll give you back your journal. He goes, no, you don't have to. She goes, excuse me. I was just thinking about my husband in the past. I got to go. But the doctor knows something's up. So then we see a piano getting raised up like something right out of a cartoon. They're walking. Oliver was her husband's name. He did go childhood sweethearts, but one sweetheart made a move to the big farm. And she goes, yeah, I don't like that the kids are learning that too. And she goes, why does it have to be military discipline? I don't think military discipline's the way. Long may we have peace. And she goes, you wrote about next year, 1914, in your journal. That's when the shadow falls across the land. He goes, well, it's just a dream. Doctor's really buttoned up. He's got a hat, a coat, not very doctor-like, more professor-like right now. Shadow across the world. Well, hopefully it won't be true. And he goes, yeah, I don't think valor and honor have to be through aggression either. Maybe we could find it in small places. That's when he sets the example. Saves the pram, saves people a lot of money. Because it looked like a handmade wicker pram. I think he uses a cricket ball. Like he does kind of like a special move. Like, what do you call it? Infernal machine style. Knocks over something else. Very impressive. So talk about a move to make somebody that already liked you fall in love with you. See, it's no wonder I have such unrealistic expectations of myself. I watch so much TV. But she's impressed. As she should be, I guess. And they say, you saved the day. And they says, she goes, if you save a pram, how do you up that? And he goes, well, by active listening and fixing a scarecrow. Oh, and asking her to the dance. And she goes, oh, yeah, you extraordinary man. I'd love to. So they're both laughing. But this is still, she says, I still need one more thing. So he fixes the scarecrow. I think he uses it, as a metaphor, as a straw friend. And she goes, you were quite your character, though, is quite the fireplace lover. And dance, and I'm going to dance with him. Like in the doctor dances, and he goes, was that what that episode was about? I thought it was more melancholy. She goes, where is Gallifrey? He goes, I'm not sure. And then he says, my father, Sidney, was a watchmaker from Nottingham, and my mother, Verity, was, she was a nurse, actually. She goes, nurses are great, aren't they? And he goes, I say, well, I prefer like a doctor like Martha myself. My work is done. I fixed a scarecrow or whatever. But the scarecrow says, I'm not a scarecrow, Scoots. I'm a straw friend. Then the doctor's drawing a vision of Joan Redfern or whatever. Doctor even has in his office a model of some building. She goes, do I look like that? He goes, you're even more beautiful. And she tries to do some self-deprecation, but he goes, well, that's how I see you. She goes, really? Like a flat two-dimensional drawn object? Because and he's staring at her. You're not saying anything at all. She goes, I just want to stop right now. I think she says something like preserve this moment or something. I don't know. And he does the old hair to face touch, back of the finger one, then a kiss, closed mouth, but not even puckered lips. And then says, oh boy. And she kisses him back though. And that one's like that's a 1, 2. That's a serious kiss. Holy boy, oh boy. Martha comes in. Holy mackerel, what did I just walk in on? She says BARF, and then goes back to the TARDIS. Okay, so she goes to see the TARDIS, watches a video again. Don't let me abandon you. Shakes her head. That's what about women? Didn't think of that, did you? What the double H hockey sticks am I supposed to do? And they says, thank you, smiles. Really heartbreaking for me and Martha, and for me as and she says, you had to go and fall in love with a human, and it wasn't. Oh, geez, man. I mean, no offense, doctor. Then the kid, a psychic, is looking at the watch, listening to the voices. Last of the Time Lords. He looks up, he sees Kid Alien walking in the woods, staring at him like a robot, though. Or walking like a robot. He meets up with the dude that owned the Straw Beings, Balloon Girl. And they're ready to roll. Well, they need one more. They look at Kid Psychic, turn their heads to the side, sniff. They still need one more member for their crew. Who we see? She goes, who's like, she's riding her bike, Jenny, and then she runs into one of the straw friends. And she's the last piece of their puzzle party. Then we go to the ship. Jenny's there. She doesn't understand. Mr. Clark's there. What's going on, Mr. Clark? I don't get this. Something that looks like a giant sea diving green glowing thing. But he goes, yeah, we need you. She works at the school. And whatever's going on is happening at the school. Kid Alien says his eyes are green. They match the glow of the ship. Never got to say that to anybody. Your eyes match the glow of this cockpit. And they say, be quiet. My mother's going to meet you. By meet you, I mean become one with you. Here she is. Takes out a green glowing ball, matches his eyes. Like a green globe. We go through shapes so fast. Yours is adequate. And they says, mother mine, and some green smoke comes out. Joins with Jenny. Never hear about Jenny that we got her number or anything, or 867-5309. Okay, what do we got here? My notes here. Gallifrey works in the thing. Doctor draws her loves in the air. Kiss back. Trouble. Grown ship grew. Green globe. We saw that. Mother mine. Dance prep. Can you dance? Of course, I guess the doctor dances. Martha, fork all of it. Team tea time. Forget all of it, maybe. Martha runs, lasers. That part made me say, I strongly dislike laser beams, like the song. Never done it. I don't even know the rest, other than Scent of a Mule. Water is gone. Something's gone. OMG. Martha really fingerprints him, stops him. He throws her out. Finger points him. Okay, I know what I'm saying. Fog watch. That's the kind of watch it is, a fog watch. She bumps into last flashback. Android's looking for Mr. Smith. Android's looking for Mr. Smith. A dance flirt. Space pony. Space pony kid sneaks in. Waltz time. Library speech. Library search. Somebody searching the library. Son of mine. Daughter of mine. I'll finish out my notes and we'll finish out the episode. Circus, music dance. Martha. Matron and Martha talking. She pulls out some sonic screwdriver. John. Martha sunk. velvet eyes, kid's nose, the psychic kid knows it, lasers. I think the kid figures it all out. Then everybody rolls in from outer space. So the straw friends and people have joined with the family, I guess they're called. Lasers, silence, we need a Time Lord, slow down. What are big music, friend or lover? You choose. And I say, and that's how it ends, I think. So let's see, the doctor tells his date she looks wonderful. She says, by the way, can you dance? He says, I'm not certain. Looks up, there's a surprise. Is there anything you are certain about? She says. So he says, oh boy, certainly pitter-pattering with my heart right now. Jenny goes into her Martha's room, or just Martha's room. She goes, one of the other teachers said afternoon tea, but now we can have it. How about it? She breathes through her nose, Jenny. Sorry, I got a cold coming on. Sits down. And Martha says, I don't know what to do. About who? Mr. Smith and Marion. It's never going to last. He's going to leave in a few weeks. Clue. She says, why? Well, his contract comes up. Where is he going to leave? So all sorts of places. I can't tell you, Jenny. It's complicated. In what way? Can't tell you. But she says, tell me now. Martha says, I don't know. Something doesn't feel right. How about some tea? Yes. She says, what about some gravy and mutton or sardines and jam? And Martha figures it out. She does that little quizzy poo. She says, excuse me 1 second, Jenny. She closes the door, turns around, and makes a run for it, down the stairs. And Jenny's already laser now after Martha. Doctor's making out. Martha runs in. I warned you. They look like us, but they're undercover. Got to open the watch. Where's the watch? The doctor says, She goes, the watch is gone. The doctor's like, what are you talking about? She goes, a fob watch. Oh, I thought it was fog watch because I was in a fog. And even his date says, what is going on? She goes, beings from another world, Jenny copied, taken over. Where's the watch? And the doctor says, oh, I see. Maybe you're feeling strong feelings. Martha, this is a story. And Martha says, come on, dude. This is not you. It's 1913. Doctor's really explaining her. And she has to finger point him very strongly. Come back to the TARDIS with me. No. And he tosses her out of the room. Closes the door, and he goes, the cheek or whatever. You think I've got it? And the nurse, she says, there was a watch here earlier. We were making out right by it. Martha runs, bumps into kid psychic. He looks after her. Martha? Not now, Tim. I'm busy. Sorry, I didn't know your name, kid. She goes to the TARDIS, grabs the doctor's coat, his like a duster. Can't find anything in it. They go into they go into Mr. Smith's office. Mr. Smith, you in here? Jenny says she's hiding something. Martha, we both scented him. He's plain and human. But maybe he knows something. Where is he? And old Green Eyes, then they say, doctor's going, he's still flirting. Saying, oh boy, this is a dance. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. The kid follows them in to the dance. He knows he's investigating. Kid psychic. There's a punch bowl, a keg or a wooden keg. A waltz starts up. People are excited. They're dancing. Doctor and Nurse Redfern are eye to eye in love. Oh boy, are they. You can dance. Quite surprised myself, doctor says. And they're moving around. They bump into a couple other couples. The former humans now bonded with the family or whatever are going through the books. And the patron dude says, well, there's a dance. Son of mine, daughter of mine's already there. Well, let's go to the dance. You could dance if you want to. Oh, the daughter's there. I think that'd be a little strange. She got a red balloon, though. Martha goes into the dance, like some dude tries to something explain her. And people are watching. The straw friends are watching from the outside. There's someone playing accordion. Doctor's grabbing drinks. Martha sits down with the nurse. The nurse says, please, this is supposed to be my date. She goes, he's different from any other man you've met, right? Yep. Sometimes he says strange things. Yep. Are we talking about Scooter or, the actor? And they say, he's been to other places that don't even exist, or like he can describe them perfectly or something like that. Never even heard of him. But it's deeper than that. When you look in his eyes, you know there's something else in there. Something hidden. Right behind the eyes, something hidden away in the dark. She says, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, come on, baloney. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And doesn't even matter what you think anyway. You're nice, you're lucky. And sorry about this, but I got to break this whole thing up. And the doctor comes over. Oh, Martha, what are you doing? She says, check this thing out. Oh, so that's what she took out of his jacket. She goes, what is this? And even Nurse Redfern says, what is it, John? And the doctor said, I'm perplexed. I'll touch it, though. And Martha's hopeful. And she goes, you're not John Smith. You are the doctor. The man in your journal's real. That's who you are, yo. And meanwhile, the little girl with the red balloon figures it out. The family rolls in. They start lasering people right off from the jump. They're lasering people. Kid psychic's there. He sees the straw friends show up. He says, oh, boy. He's still making connections. He quite hasn't got it all connected. They push, when the dad of the family shows up, he pushes over a coat rack. I say, how rude could you be? You just pushed over the coat rack unnecessarily. Mr. Clark, what's going on? Laser's the band leader. And that gets everybody's attention. And then Martha says, don't worry about the sonic screwdriver. They say silence. Martha tries to play it down. Straw friends are watching too. Got some questions for Mr. Smith. And the little girl goes, no, he's the doctor. I was eavesdropping. Ah, human form. The doctor doesn't know. He says, I'm human. And they go, this is wild, man. They go, you got a human brain, too. That's why I can't figure it out. And they laugh. But we need a Time Lord, not a... So we'll have to undo the doing. But they'll have to have him undo it. Change back. Don't know what you're talking about. Change back. Doctor really doesn't know. They go, what about Martha, your friend? And he goes, I don't know what you mean. Wait a minute. And then they say, what about your date? They go, well, who are you going to choose? Your companion or your lover? And I said, doctor, man, no offense, dude. You chose in a way to not, has it taught you wonderful things? Or are you better, richer, wiser? Then answer this. Who do you choose? Doctor's shaken. Maid or matron? Your friend or your lover? And they do a lot of cutting face to face. Zoom on the doctor. He's not, he's like, I can't, this is a dilemma. But it's a dilemma. We can wait for a little while. Just rest. Don't worry. Doctor, the good thing about these is it always works out. I guess it eventually will lead to the end of the season where, understandably, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know because I haven't ever seen the end of the season, but so yeah, it's just think about the doctor dancing and waltzing back and forth, waltzing across the room, waltzing you off to dreamland. Here's some thank yous. Good night. All right, I want to thank some people that became patrons recently. I want to say thanks to Lily, Amy, and Anna. Thanks, and good night. Holly, Jacob, and Ann. Thanks, and good night. Angela, Jason, and Anna. Thanks, and good night. Alexander S., Alexander A., and Lauren. Thanks, and good night. Becca with a K, James, and Star. Thanks, and good night. Vivek, Philip, and Audrey. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Laura, Paulina, and Andrea. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. David, Brian, and Joe. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. John, Donna, and Miles. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Jacqueline, Michael, and Maria. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Nicole, Heather, and Chris. Thanks, and good night. And Lauren. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Thanks, everybody, for supporting the show. Sleeping Base here is a free podcast because of people who support the show. On Patreon, support is sponsors. We come out on a regular basis because of that support. We grow as a show by people just spreading the word about podcasts in general. Letting people know about the podcast, right? Telling people, spreading the word. And what else? Spreading the word about the show. Letting people know about podcasts in general. So I said I already got distracted. But yeah, just tell people about your favorite podcast, the podcast app you use, promotion, just don't promote it. Like, just naturally talk about it. Sleep With Me comes up in a conversation, great. If you just talk about podcasts, that's great too. If you want to promote the show more actively, you could use sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. And I think that's it. What do you say? Here's some Tuck You In sponsors so we got all this 400, whatever, 47 maybe when I'm recording this. Episode's in the feed. Thanks. Thanks and good night, everybody. Hey, everybody, Scoots. I have a mattress I love. It's from tonight's sponsor, Helix Sleep. I sleep in the Helix Dusk Luxe. It is so cozy. I love getting into bed every single night. And it's a perfect mattress for me because I took the Helix quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep and got matched with it. Helix Sleep has a quiz that just takes 2 minutes to complete, matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody's unique and Helix knows that, so they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have soft, medium, and firm mattresses. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. Mattress is great for spinal alignment to prevent morning aches and pains, and even a Helix Plus mattress for plus-size sleepers. And I took the Helix quiz. I got matched with the Helix Dusk Luxe because I sleep on my side, I sleep on my stomach, I sleep hot, and it meets my needs perfectly. So take the quiz and find out what mattress is going to be perfect for you. If you're looking for a mattress, all you do is you take that quiz, helixsleep.com/sleep. You order the mattress you're matched to, and the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't ever need to go to the mattress store again. And Helix is awesome. You don't just have to take my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. Helix has been recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors. The sleep medicine is a go-to solution for improving sleep. And you just go to helixsleep.com/sleep. You take their 2-minute sleep quiz and they'll match you to a customized mattress that'll give you the best sleep of your life. They even have a 10-year warranty. You get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will. Helix even has financing options and flexible payment plans. So a great night's sleep is never far away. And Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/sleep. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Good night, everybody.